One of the worst things to happen when you're playing fantasy basketball is when you log on a Monday, you think, I'm going to take down my opponent this week. Who am I playing? Humpty Scrumpty? I got him. And then you realize Humpty Scrumpty's stars are playing far more games than yours. He's getting 4 from Russell Westbrook and 4 from Anthony Davis. Meanwhile, you've only got 2 games coming from Luka and James Harden. You're done. There's no way you can overcome that. That's where our friends Sleeper come into play. Sleeper has cracked the fantasy basketball code. No more of this being overwhelmed by number of games played and all this busy work, changing your lineups day in and day out. It's like fantasy football when it comes to Sleeper's game pick app. It is so strategic because you start the beginning of the week and you only select 1 game from each of your players that will count for your fantasy team. So you've got to pick the right game for Luka. Are you going to pick a bad defensive team for him to play against? A team that gets up and down, a home versus away game? That's called strategy, and it levels the playing field. Makes so much sense. Sleeper's one-of-a-kind game pick app is the most strategic fantasy basketball experience in the industry. Go download the Sleeper app and start a Game Picks League today. You won't regret it.
Yes, grab your torch, dip it in this podcast because it's a hot one. Welcome to No Buffs, presented by Sleeper. We're back to recap episode 2 of Survivor 41, aka Juggling Chainsaws. I'm J.E. Skeets, keeping the alliance strong with my 3 fellow tribe members. We have the bearded one, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey, yo. We have the other bearded one, No Dunk super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is. And from Crooked Media, I'm calling it now, a future Survivor winner. Jason. I'm calling it.
Hello, buddy.
Yep. What's up, man?
Hello.
Hey, Jason. Guys, thank you for joining us live here on the stream team. Sorry for the slow start, the delayed start. Everybody joining us live, we appreciate it here on a Thursday afternoon. Most of you know this, especially all of y'all here live. No Buffs has its very own YouTube channel and podcast feed. So these are no longer appearing on the No Dunks channels or feeds. It's No Buffs 24/7. So if you haven't already, subscribe to No Buffs Survivor 41. You'll find it there on YouTube. You'll find it there on Apple. You'll find it on Spotify. And better yet, if you do listen to the podcast, leave your boys a rating and review. This stuff always helps others find the show. Before we get into it, huge shout out to our guy Tassie for filling in admirably on last week's No Buffs episode. Trey and I were on our own island. We were actually on vacation with some other friends and our family, Turks and Caicos, if you want to be specific. Beautiful island. They should shoot there for Survivor 42, right, Trey? Turks and Caicos?
Oh, it would be beautiful. People would love the views, but I was offended you voted for me on the very first night, Skeets. I could not believe that.
Yeah, it's because you wouldn't stop eating the pizza that we ordered in advance for when we got there. I
had to spend the night on the beach by myself. I thought it was going to be fun, but not as exciting as it looks like it is out there on Survivor.
Yeah, but I thought Tass did a great job. JD, Jason, you guys were fantastic. I couldn't believe the thing was nearly 2 hours long.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. I know it was a 2-hour episode, the premiere, Jason, but you guys went deep on that.
It was a lot to talk about. We didn't want to shirk our responsibilities in approaching the material with the kind of deference and respect that it deserved. And I feel that we accomplished that mission.
You absolutely did. Final piece of housekeeping here before we get into the episode. Don't be shy with us. Email or tweet in your questions and your comments and your screen grabs about Survivor 41. You can email them in nodunks@theathletic.com. You can tweet them in @NoDunksInc. You can leave them in the stream team here right now, or of course, under this YouTube video in the comments. Okay, I thought we would work through this one sort of scene by scene. That's how we'll tackle these normally. Later on, we're going to answer a few questions we received already by way of Twitter and YouTube and email, and maybe even some of you here live in the stream will get to your cues. We'll call that tree mail, of course. But guys, we open up episode 2, JD, with Yua. Day 4, Green Tribe, for those keeping track. This is the morning after Tribal Council. And oh my God, the fun you guys had in episode 1 talking about Brad the rancher, who we now call Beef Walton, or Big Daddy Beef. JC likes to call him every once in a while, but I love Beef Walton. I mean, we get a spy shack set up by him instantly, JD. I mean, he kicked off this episode and he's off and running down the beach because he's all worried about what happened the night before. It was great.
Oh, it was awesome. And it was, I mean, to say it was set up is a bit much. He just dove into some bushes, really. He didn't dig out a spy shack the way Tony did. But yeah, I mean, obviously he probably shouldn't have said anything to anybody. He just booked it for the water. I mean, I thought it was kind of cool the way, I mean, I'd love to see like a map of where things are in relation to the camp, in relation to the water.
Right.
And just like, he got there in plenty of time, you know, and then he just dove in there, didn't make eye contact with them, which I
Yep.
I kept thinking, I mean, last episode we heard, I think it was Jeannie talking about the bugs being out, and just if diving into bushes like that and just sitting there, just being bitten by stuff and stuff crawling all over you. I mean, that's pretty hardcore. So
he's a rancher, JD. This is nothing for him. He's used to the flies and the
so much
mites.
tougher than I am.
And the mites. Yeah, watching that, all I could think was Tony was just wasting time out there. The guy built elaborate spy shacks. Eventually, it did take him to the championship, but like you're saying, JD, but Beef Walton, he just hopped in the bushes and then looked away. That's literally all it took. Yeah. I do agree with him. You can feel someone's gaze. I don't know if I would expect
you can do that.
The gaze out there, but I was 100% with him. Like, this is a good move. Make sure you look away. You don't want to give away anything.
Yeah, I mean, Trey, you're 6'5". Brad's a huge guy. Beef Walton's big. I mean, he's not Bill Walton height, but he's big. Could you do this, Trey? That's all I kept thinking. Like, you're basically the exact same size of this guy. Could you be that quick on the beach and, you know, that silent in a giant bush while you're trying to eavesdrop on people?
I am good at staying silent and hiding. I'm bad at running, though. I think, I hate to say it, I think Beef Walton could take me on a beach sprint.
Wow.
Wow. The guy's running up against cattle every single day. He's facing the biggest beasts on earth.
That's true.
Personally, I just race against like a 7-year-old. That's easy. So yeah, I could get there. I could hide. I wouldn't look at people. I've got great hearing, so I think I would get the tips just like Brad was. But the sprinting and getting back, the perfect plan, as long as you don't mention the plan to anyone else.
Yeah. Now this is his error, right, Jason? It's like, okay, you know, you're not feeling great from what happened at Tribal Council back at the end of episode 1. You know, JD's getting a little weird. You thought you were tight with him. You end up getting a vote even. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was from Jeannie. Was that right? Who threw that? Who threw that one?
I believe that was Jeannie. Yes.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Jeannie voted for Rickard, I thought.
Oh, was that true? Who was it?
He gets a vote, and he's like,
got a vote.
What's going on? So he's a little upset with JD. So he wants to go spy on him and Rickard. And yeah, that's cool. But Jason, again, it's like, why are you telling everybody this?
I think that it is a testament to how well Shan is playing.
Mm-hmm.
That people just want to tell her stuff. You know, I think that's a big part of it. And I do think Brad, you know, seeing his name out there rattled him. I do want to just appreciate, like y'all did, just the endurance. Like, I understand that the 77 Beef Blazers were a run and gun team. They got up and down the floor, but I didn't realize that he still had it like that, where he's able to put in a full out shift, full sprint to the bush, suppress his breathing so that when they're talking, like at the well, they don't hear just like,
get some water
from the bush, and then and then he's able to get back and then like lay down, lay down on the bed without like his heart visibly pumping through his chest. Incredible fitness from Father Beef, from Beef Walton. I was really impressed, but yeah, I think a clear misstep. but I think the players are under pressure, like we haven't seen in a while, this early in the game, and I think that he thinks, I thought I had an alliance that got blown up in the middle of tribal. I'm grasping for this thing with Shan, trying to build a bond there, and hopefully there is something there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I also thought I want to give, Beef Walton here. I want to keep calling him Beef Wellington, but it's Beef Walton. Maybe it's the ranch part. Brad, we could also call him. I thought he was like a Keith Nail. I thought he was, a country boy dummy, if I'm being honest. And I love Keith Nail. I want to point that out. I think he's been one of the funnier contestants or Survivor contestants that we've had in a long time, because he is so clueless and as an older generation, and he doesn't really even know what was going on half the time, but he's got these funny lines, and he just seemed like a great guy to actually sort of hang out with. I sort of thought Brad was like that, and maybe he is to some extent, but JD, there's no way Keith Nail was doing something like this. Like Jason said, it sort of went haywire the night before, and he's like, okay, I got to get some intel here. Like, what's going on? That Keith Nail's not doing that unless there's a tuk-tuk for him to jump in and take down the beach, right?
Totally. I mean, he's like Keith Nail, but he understands the game. Keith sort of never really got what he was doing there. I don't know if he ever really knew. He knew there was $1 million at the end of it. I think his son just roped him into playing, right? Because it was blood versus water when we first meet him. So,
right.
But I agree with you. He was a great character. I think Beef Walton is an awesome character. And also for this sequence, I would like to point out that the magic's back, baby, with Survivor, except for one thing that happened. We'll get to that later, I'm sure. But we're not seeing the crew, and I don't know how they shoot this stuff. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know how the cameras don't give away that Beef is hiding. We're seeing him. We're seeing shots of him. And then there's crew everywhere, and the magic is back. As I feel like I'm back on the beach. There's nobody there. It's just them doing their thing, and I love it.
Oh, so you are almost giving future Survivor winners, possibly Jason here, a tip that if you're at the water well or if you're standing anywhere with another person or two, take note of where the camera is lining up, because you just turn around immediately around from you and just make sure nobody's there or hiding in a bush or in a tree, because there's a reason they're parked there, is what you're saying, JD. Yeah. This
is a Tyson move. I heard him talk about this on an interview once, where part of the meta game of Survivor is like building this relationship with the crew where you're like, hey, listen, I'm gonna go look for an idol, but like over there, but don't follow me, so they know, like just meet me over there because that's where I'm going. Understanding like how that works, I agree with you. Like, was the camera crew just like running down the beach? Like, what's that? What's happening? But clearly the way that they are able to get their angles, get their coverage it's done in a way that does not tip anyone that there is a long side of beef like laying in the bushes right there.
Just a big slab. I like what Ziggy says in the stream team. 100% cameraman watching is advanced analytics. If you're not doing it at this point, you are behind. I also like the idea of Brad finally getting back to camp. And then Rickard walks back, and they have literally everybody's water bottle, but he can't ask for a water bottle because they'll be like, what, man? You've just been laying here the whole time. So he's just got to be dying of thirst the whole time, trying to breathe as calm as he possibly can. Incredible start to the episode.
Oh my God. It would have been amazing too. I like you said, JD, there was that great shot where Brad is booking it down the beach, and he's like, he's looking over to his left because they're walking, of course, down this path in the jungle, and he's like, just looking, he's looking. I wish he sort of got caught by JD specifically because he's a sprinter. So it would be great if like JD's like, oh, it's on. Just
let's go.
It just kicks in.
Yeah, let's go.
Nature. It's a race. He just books it, tries to beat him there. Incredible start to this episode. I mean, Beef Walton was getting the dopey music, which happens. Every season of Survivor. You got to have some goofballs out there. At least there are some funny moments like this, and he got it, and that's fine. And yeah, it sort of blew up in his face because, Sean tells Ricard immediately, like it cuts to immediately them in the water. Now that could have been hours later. That could have been who knows, maybe even a day later for all we know. But great editing there that she just like, he just booked it there and tried to hide in the bush to hear what you guys were talking about. Like, what did you say? They didn't really even say all that much. Am I crazy?
No.
Like, he didn't seem to get all that much intel. He was smart enough to make note of that. They kept saying he. And he's like, well, I'm the only other male here from these two on this tribe, so I guess they're talking about me. But otherwise, Jason, he didn't get a ton. I feel like they weren't saying.
Yeah, it feels like he didn't get a ton, and in the sense that he was already pretty paranoid about JD. I think all this did was just kind of amplify that. Yeah. So we'll see how that affects his game. But I like the aggressiveness. I love getting out there and trying to make something happen. Maybe he didn't get all the intel, the kind of like spy shack level quality intel that Tony was able to get, but he's in the mix, and he proved to himself that, listen, I can run down there and lay in a bush and listen to people. Like, I can make that happen. That'll be in the show 100%. That will make it. So
he's in there. Well, let's move over to the Blue Tribe. Before the first commercial break there in this episode of Survivor. It's pretty quick. We got Deshaun struggling with starting a fire. So Nasir steps up, he steps in, he gets it going in like, I don't know, he says like a minute, doesn't he? He's like
pretty quick.
Yeah,
it was very, very fast.
Blows on a coconut husk and boom, a fire drops. It's pretty badass.
Yeah, like he picks up an ember and just goes, it's an instant fire. Meanwhile, Deshaun was trying the old Flint move. Like, why didn't you just pick up the fire that was already started? Which is basically what Nasir did, right? He was just complaining that his knife was too big.
That was a reason. What is that? Like, the knife is, he's like, I can't even get a grip on it. They got these machetes out here. It's like, yeah, that's what they give you on Survivor. They give you the big machete. Like, you kind of got to be ready for this, my dude. I think it was partially like he was also practicing.
Sure.
So, but man, Nasir came into his own a little bit in this episode.
Oh, for sure. I mean, to the point that Sydney JD is like, wow, okay, respect. And then like while she's sort of talking him up, I think he knocks down a coconut too, or knocks down something out of the tree. So like
a breadfruit. He just
yeah. He's like, boom, no problem. Let's eat. And we get a little his backstory too, like a little bit more. That they're continuing here in episode 2. These like not flashbacks, but like they're like taking you off the island for a second and showing you the real life or where these people come from, which is I think pretty cool. I like how they're not super long. I love the strategy. Yeah. I want to be on the island as much as possible, but I like these little sprinklings of like, this is where this particular person is from and how they grew up and whatever. So they did that with Nasir here in this scene.
Yeah. And I was complaining about them last week. I like the 2 that they did this week. I think they did 2. They did Deshaun and Nasir, and I like them both. So they're growing on me. I'm in on it. Nasir, he's just awesome. I just love the guy. And I think that his tribe is starting to love him, which means that you got to get rid of him very, very soon. I mean, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Like he said, yay. He got fruit out of a tree. Like, nope. I haven't seen I've seen people have fun on Survivor, but not like this. This guy is having the time of his life. His tribe loves him. His enthusiasm is infectious. You have to cut his head off. You got to get rid of Nasir. I know you want to eat, but this is, you can't let your stomach make the decisions for you this early in Survivor, because he is such a threat, and I'm rooting for him all the way. I hope he makes it to the end, but if it was me, I'd be like, bye-bye. You're too cool. You're too nice.
I'll tell you what, he's in the challenge too, not to jump ahead. He's got the gas. Like,
that dive was amazing.
He had an Aussie level dive
that I've ever seen.
An Aussie quality dive into the water. And then when he hit that net, like he can move. He is an athletic, physical guy just with the belly.
Yep.
He can play. He's a dangerous dude out there.
I like that he strikes this balance only through 2 episodes, of course, so it's not a ton, but he seems to be very humble, but he's got a little cockiness and like sort of confidence, I think, to him. But he like it's like right down the middle, which I think is sort of what you want here. You don't want to be like a blowhard and a know-it-all and stuff like that. You know, we love Fishback and Rob. I'm talking about the know-it-alls that everybody hates. But he's also like, you know, like he understands the game enough to be like, I can't come out being an Aussie where it's like I'll just be a bit of a show off. Like, I feel like Aussie lacks that, is what I'm saying. And I'm not. Right. I think it's a funny comparison, Nasir to Aussie, but there's something there where like a guy like Aussie, he knows he's awesome at this stuff and doesn't really hide it at all. Like he doesn't tone it down at all. I think Nasir has done a decent job. But Trey, you know, we missed episode 1. What have you thought of Nasir through both of these episodes now?
Well, I hate to hear what JD's saying that you got to get him out soon, because I completely agree. He was one of my highest risers from episode 1 to episode 2. He was looking like a potential first boot for, he's what, Luvu tribe? Is that right? The Blue tribe is Luvu. So he was looking like could easily be the first boot. You know, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell his age, I would say, but it looks like he's older on that tribe. And, you know, he's contributing clearly a lot around the camp, but now it seems like he's winning people over and they're not going to want him to go home. But like JD is saying, if that is happening and you're seeing all the things he's able to do, and Skeets, you're right, he does have a little bit more of a social game than Ozzy, just from the standpoint of keeping some things under his hat. Like, I don't know, he busted out that incredible dive. You're like, whoa, okay, this guy's getting busy in the water too. Exciting stuff. But if everybody else is seeing it, there are going to be those players who are like, we'll figure out how to make fire. I can throw something up at that breadfruit in the palm trade. Not a big deal. Let's get this guy out because everybody's going to love him in not too long.
Yeah. Oh, and just wait until now that they have the fishing gear next week. Guaranteed we're going to see Nasir under the water, bringing back 12, 15 fish for everybody, just like Ozzy did. So I think that the Aussie comparison is actually
might be there.
Spot on.
We may have gotten to it as a tribe. We may have gotten to that one. We'll see. Okay, so this is in the episode where we hit our first commercial break, and I wouldn't normally point that out, but we've got Jason here who knows everything about these superhero movies. Jason, what am I supposed to think of this new Venom movie?
I've seen it. It's absolutely insane.
Ooh,
that's all I'll say. I won't spoil it all. It is, if you thought the first one was insane, it takes all those dials and it like turns them up 2 more notches.
Okay. All right. I had to ask you because I saw that a couple times, I think, in the Survivor episode. All right. So we're back to the Yellow Tribe, Yase. Still day 4. We open with a bunch of water shots, people looking for crabs. JD, I know you love those like opening shots. Like some people think they're telling us stuff a lot of the time, like what animal they're showing us, or you know, whatever they're showing us has some meaning.
I absolutely thought that when the first shot we see is a crab, and I'm like, what does a crab represent? Is that kind of sneaky, sort of skittering around and you know, eking out a life, you know? So I don't know what happened directly after that. I can't remember.
Well, they're looking for food, a lot of them out there. And then we go back to the actual camp, the assay camp, and Xander and Leanna, they appear to get worried that no one is there. Though I'll credit Xander for really getting worried, because he's like, oh, we should go find them. He sort of like plays it up like, wow, we're the only 2 here. What's everybody doing? They must be doing something suspicious. So he's like, let's go find them. But Psych, he really just wanted to do that so he could go idol hunting. And he finds something else. JD, I hope you got a photo for me. I believe you do. It is the Beware Advantage. There it is. Finds this in a tree, Jason, and it says on it, I'll read it here, Beware Advantage. If you take it, it's yours, and you must do what it says. Otherwise, leave it. Well, he takes it. But what are you doing in this situation? Before we get into the details of knowing what it is, he doesn't know what it is. It just says Beware and Advantage. One bad thing, one good thing. What are you doing?
I think you got to take it. You have to take it. It would be really hard to not take it. Obviously, finding out what the disadvantage is. it makes it tough. But I think you just, in that situation, not knowing what the particular disadvantage is, you just kind of have to pick it up.
Right. And he does. And it is a weird advantage, but also, you know, a knock to his game here, Trey. It's a 3-way shared immunity idol with weird stipulations that need to be met. We're showing you a screen grab here on YouTube. This isn't even the whole note.
Wait, we should make sure that Tiff can see this too, so that Tiff can read the full text of this, so that she can understand how this works.
Well, I mean, look at this thing. It's a damn book. Again, we're showing you like half the page here. But the gist of it is, to get this 3-way shared immunity item, you need all 3 people, 1 from each tribe, because there are 3 of these idols out there, 1 on each beach. You got to say a silly phrase at a challenge, got to say it out loud, and hope to get a response from 2 other people. It's a little call and response here. So Xander's line is, I'll read all 3 lines to you. His is, I truly believe that butterflies are dead, relatives saying hi. Okay. Another one is, I'm as confused as a goat on AstroTurf, as many have pointed out, very Keith Nail-like. He would just say that normally. Yeah. And the final one is, I didn't realize this until now, broccoli is just a bunch of small trees. So if you get, they got to be found, then you got 3 people to say this thing at a challenge, then it's activated. Until then, Trey, you lose your ability to vote. And right when he sort of says that to the camera in his confession, the music goes, wah.
And it's brutal.
Yeah. Okay. So Trey, yeah, your first thoughts on this in general and how difficult or not this would be to pull off.
Well, my first thought is that ultimately Xander pulled it off as well as it could have been pulled off when it finally gets to tribal council, and Jeff kind of tees him up by saying, he asks him about what it's been like without Flint, right? And he says something like, oh, we're going crazy. Like, I woke up this morning truly believing that butterflies are dead relatives saying hi. And Jeff has to wait.
Yeah.
He has to wait just a little bit. So I thought Xander played it pretty well.
Yeah.
Except for, why did he tell everybody and read through the note? Like, he's done this now twice. When he went to Shipwheel Island or whatever that thing is called.
Right.
He came back and he told people exactly what happened. Fair enough. It worked out in his advantage. He ended up getting the extra vote after the tribal council. This time, he comes back and tells right away. I mean, maybe he's trying to build a little trust here, which I do think is happening. But also, you should keep something a secret when you're playing Survivor a little bit. I'm also curious, do all of the phrases, do they have to go in that order? Dead relatives, goat on AstroTurf, broccoli is small trees?
Great question. Because I would assume no, right? Because you don't know what order they're going to be found in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of worth it. Obviously, you want to get off. You want to get your vote back as soon as you can. That said, it's kind of worth it to see if anybody else says any of the other phrases first.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
like
and
he
maybe
have waited to hear about the broccoli or whatever, and then like, yeah, I'm feeling crazy too out here, man. Now that you mention it, but the thing about it for me is like I would take the advantage and I would open it as well because you're out there to play Survivor. You're out there to figure out what's happening. He's already had success with this one change up twist that we haven't seen before, so why not risk it again, second time through? Just I don't know. I just maybe if he gets an advantage where it's just like you got an immunity necklace, put it on your neck and you're good to go. Maybe then he won't tell anybody, right? Like maybe then he will have the spycraft to hold on to that and use it in the future. But that was the only thing that kind of rattled me was why? I mean, I guess he thinks he's closer with Evvie than they think they are. But I guess that's probably it. But to me, he's being a little bit too much of a blabbermouth with regards to all these crazy things he's finding, because even if they're not totally advantages, even if Evvie knows that he's not going to be able to use that vote, they know that he does have the necklace eventually. And they're going to know once that happens again. Like, he's going to have to say the same thing at every single one of these.
Trey, can he just go, or could he have gone actually to the first one and said, hey, Jeff, before we start this, I got something to say. Says the line, but then says, hey, blue tribe, hey, green tribe, there's an idol back there. Go get it. And let's get it like now. I guess you're like really putting a target on your back with your own yellow tribe because you're like basically. But go ahead. Yeah, what do you got?
He's got to do that now. Like knowing what he knows now, the way that Tribal shook out, Evvie knows all his secrets and is clearly not aligned with him and is working with other people. Everybody knows he has an advantage and no vote, 2 advantages and no vote. He has to get somehow a message to the 2 other tribes to tell them to look for your fucking clues, whether that's shouting at a challenge, whether that's JT style writing a fucking letter and sending it. They have to find those because he is defenseless until they find them.
Right. Well, we know Deshaun knows because Evvie later in this episode tells him on the trek at Shipwheel Island, which I really like, or hill or mountain. But yeah, we don't know about the Green Tribe. For all we know, knows nothing about this. Now they might be out there looking, JD. But yeah, what do you think about this whole thing? Where did he go wrong? Did Xander just go wrong in like he has trust for Evvie, but should he have maybe stopped? Like, first off, don't show her the note and just say the whole, hey, there's this weird thing. I got to say this weird line at a challenge. And if 2 other people do this call and response, we get an idol. But don't tell her about by the way, I also lose my vote. Like, I think he should have maybe given her a little bit and just not all of it. That's my personal opinion. But what's your take on the Beware advantage?
I think that he should have said nothing to anybody because he's so vulnerable now. And like you're saying, I have all this power, but at the same time, I'm completely powerless right now. I can't vote at all, but I soon I'm going to have 2 advantages. So just bear with me. If you say that to me and I'm playing against you, you're gone. Like you're gone, man. Like he's already, we're 4 days in and he's found 2 advantages. Like it's insane that he said anything. He already told him. He told her about the extra vote, right?
Yeah.
So
she
knows
everything about him. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but the verbal diarrhea is catching in that tribe, obviously, as we'll discuss, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't understand why he couldn't have kept that one close to the vest. It wouldn't have made a difference the way that Jeff presents the votes anyways. That if it came up that it was consequential that his vote didn't matter, at tribal council, then you go, hey, I couldn't vote because I have this advantage, but you're up against it at that point. But I would not have said a word. I mean, because this is going to blow up a lot of people's games now, I think. But I have to say that I love this thing. I love this. The Super Troopers challenge is great. Like, but that's my only regret is that they didn't put meow in there.
Oh,
like,
you had to go and just say meow.
You have to say meow 10 times at tribal council, or at the immunity challenge. And if you're CBS, throw in some synergy, like it's a Star Trek network, live long and prosper. We'll throw that in there, right? Let's have them say the bold and the beautiful. You have to work that into it, or some sort of CBS, Big Brother, something. I don't know.
No, Big Brother would have done that.
This was a little Big Brother to me. Like you have to come to a challenge where everybody is at and say something ridiculous. I would love to know what's on the cutting room floor, but you're right, Jimmy. They should have worked it in. Xander, how y'all doing with no Flint out there? Well, that's tough, Jeff. I'm really missing 2.5 men. Somebody chimes in. Interesting. I'm missing the CBS Fox Game of the Week at 4:25 p.m. Eastern.
Jeff, I'm young and I'm restless, and let's get on with this challenge or something like that.
Right. I saw people asking if there is somehow a tribe swap. Can Xander find one of the other Beware advantages by himself and then thus have to say 2 of the things and just have one other? What do you think, Jason? Is that in play? Is it a possibility?
It's an interesting question. We talked about this a little before we started rolling. It feels like nothing can happen until those other clues are found, or else they're just kind of burned.
Yeah.
So, even though we're down to 4 with Yase, they're going to have to stick with this until those other clues are found. And hopefully they're found, certainly for for Xander's sake, hopefully they're found soon. And again, I expect next episode Xander to somehow tell people, hey, look for your shit.
I think that the producers are going to take those other clues and put them like in super obvious places now because they want this to happen, right? Like
we're getting a Jeff shot for sure. Him like sneaking into camp and just like putting it under somebody's pillow.
Oh my goodness, I hope so. I should have pointed out Xander didn't just tell Evvie. He told David too. What he's going by his doctor's name. What is it? Voce.
Voce.
Yeah. He told him as well, and it's gonna not go well for Dr. Voce here. But she then immediately just blows up his spot and tells both of the girls, like she is all in on this girls alliance on the Yellow Tribe, and we'll get to what happens with that a little bit later and their decisions and their trust in each other. But it's a lot of fun. I think, I like the silliness of it all, though. I'm with you, JD. Like this concept, I don't mind it. It's unique. We've never had something like this from what I can remember, unless Jason or Trey, anybody can remember something like this on Survivor. So it's unique in that way, and we'll see if it plays off. Plays out like, you're banking on a lot of things that have to happen. Like all these things got to be found. People, not only do they have to be found, they got to be opened.
Right. Yes. Like you can't just they can't find it and then put it back.
Like I don't want that. No, beware. No, thanks. I don't want that. So we'll see if they if the producers can get us to the 3 things being said at one of these. Also, can you say it during the challenge? Can you say it like after the challenge? Like, does it just have to happen in that window? I mean, we'll find out.
I in the past it feels like Survivor is a style of game in which, unless the rule explicitly states you can't do this, you can pretty much do it. Right? You can go through people's bags. You can do you can send letters, etc. You can do things that are not explicitly said not to do. So I would imagine he could. Right? It didn't say specifically that he couldn't do that. So
I would think so too. And I think it does say it within this book of a note. Only works up until the merge. Is that right? Okay, so got a little timer on that. Okay, we're gonna take our first break here on No Buffs. Our first commercial break. Maybe we'll just roll in the Venom footage. But when we come back, we'll get to the immunity/reward challenge and the fallout from that, and of course get to Tribal Council. And later in the show, we'll get to some of your questions. So don't go anywhere.
You ever want to write something? Like really, really write something? Well, with Grammarly, you can just get lost in what you want to say and let the technology not only take care of making it grammatically correct, but it'll also help convey how you want to say it. You get lost in your words, and Grammarly won't let your message get lost. Want to be forceful yet fair? Grammarly has got you. Want to be delicate yet accurate? Well, Grammarly is there. Want to not make any sense at all? Then turn off Grammarly completely. Whether it's for school or writing a message back home or you just feel like being creative, Grammarly Premium can elevate your writing. Do more than just spell check. Say what you really mean with Grammarly Premium. Get 20% off Grammarly Premium by signing up at grammarly.com/nodunks. That's 20% off at grammarly.com/nodunks.
Does this sound familiar? You've got one device that lets you catch the game live, another that lets you stream your favourite shows, you're watching sports highlights on your phone, and you've got your neighbour's best friend's login for all the good stuff. Well, I want to tell you about a simple way to get all that entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. It's called DirecTV Stream, and it brings your live TV and on-demand favourites together like never before, so you can watch your favourite sports, movies and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remote and no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part? There's no annual contract, so get rid of the clutter and the confusion and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com. Compatible device required. Content varies by package.
All right, we're back with No Buffs. Didn't know how many ads we were going to have there.
Sorry.
I thought there was a third one coming. I was going to fire off a tweet and say, hey, come on, join us. We're still talking Survivor. It's all good. We're back. So We are at the immunity / reward challenge because there's some fishing gear on the line. Everybody's pumped too because they're not playing just for first. You're also playing for second. You just don't want to be last, or you'll be heading to tribal council. We got the big, idol, and then we got the little tiny version of it.
Those
But
look like souvenir mugs.
yeah,
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
don't
think
mind
they even
them,
have
though.
a handle on the back of them.
to pick it up.
Yeah, I guess so. Carry it around. I'm always curious what they're going to look like. And this one, to me, I don't know. A little budget basement here. A little bargain bin if you're at the Survivor Idol store, I think. Not super ornate, but definitely looks like something you could pour JD's favorite drink, socks on the beach, into.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're at season 41.
That's
They've
right.
run out of ideas, and they've been in Fiji now for 10 of them. They're like, I don't know what to do. Just make it semi-cool looking. Can anybody carve a piece of wood? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we already slipped in the whole Xander trying his butterfly phrase. We get nothing but crickets. We are into the challenge. This one, pretty simple. Tribe members must traverse an obstacle course in the ocean, with the first member then unclipping a key underwater. Once all the tribe members are across, 2 must solve a giant turtle puzzle, which I thought looked pretty cool. And these puzzles are pretty epic usually. And we get Tiffany blowing it for Yase for the yellow tribe on the balance beam. The balance beam has gotten the best of many Survivor contestants. Chris Doherty, who won Vanuatu way back in season 9, I remember couldn't get across the thing. I think Siri maybe had something. A similar thing that she
And
couldn't
Game
get across.
Changers.
There's another 3 or 4 or 5 people that have just sucked on this beam, Jason, and she was really struggling.
I don't know that I've seen anybody just die on a challenge that hard before. Obviously, the lack of food, I think, is hitting her in a way that is not hitting the rest of her tribe, which is, with the oldest member of her tribe. She also didn't know she was going for sure until 24 hours
True, yeah.
before the plane left. So, if it was me, I would have been out there doing laps around the block, but maybe she wasn't. And I think that the lack of food and the exertion got to her, and the gas tank was stone empty. It was done. I mean, she got midway across that balance beam and just was like she died so hard that she didn't just hurt herself and her tribe. She blew out Jeff's voice.
Oh yeah,
Because he was
screaming.
Tiffany, halfway! She was lying on the balance beam saying, "I'm dying."
She literally, it was to the point where I was like, is she gonna
We
go?
gotta call it.
Like pass out. Yeah.
Is she gonna pass on?
Yeah.
Because then she tries to kind of throw herself forward and just collapses and lays there hunched over on the end of the beam, and then she manages to finally pitch into the water. And I'm like, man, somebody might have to go in there and get her, because she's not looking good. That was hard to watch. That was very, very tough.
Yeah. JD, again, I don't know how well I would play Survivor. I'd love to give it a chance one day, but I know I would struggle with this more than anything. And what I mean is being in a tribe still, playing for immunity, playing for possibly your life to stay in the game, and having just one of your tribe members just really blow it.
Right.
Because then you've got to do the balance of you still want to encourage him or her. You still want to be a team player, but I would be also going livid, inside and maybe on the outside. I'm not sure I can hold it in, honestly. Just scoot across the fucking beam. Come on.
Yeah. Not on day 4. I mean, Jason, your point is well taken. It was a last minute ad, and she probably wasn't, in Rocky Balboa mode trying to, train for it. But I don't know, if you're on call, you should do something maybe. But yeah, it's day 4. I get it. It's Survivor's hard. And I kind of resented the Survivor editors for kind of making it, because I went back and watched the Suri one, because it was it reminded me of Suri, and they were sort of come on, it was a you can do it cut. This is not about the challenge anymore. This is about you overcoming
that was a Rudy moment. That was like a, like,
but that was also
different.
like Cerie's like
Except
fourth
that it
time
wasn't.
playing, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was for Cerie. I mean, yeah, she always struggles with water challenges. She's one of the most beloved Survivor players of all time, and it was day 25 that happened to her.
Yeah.
And this and as you say, the challenge was over, and it was just like, you want to do this, do it. Like, and then it was just like Cerie, Rudy. And it was a super emotional moment for Tiffany. I mean, I'm sorry, all due respect, she shit the bed, and I don't know why they did that little cut. Like, it's just like, not everything has to be an inspirational story, guys. Like, just let her shit the bed. It's fine. Like, I don't understand.
Well, they almost
why.
came back to win, or at least come in second.
Exactly.
Editing made it look like it. Yeah.
It was her fault they lost the challenge. I mean, there's, shout out to Sarah from the last episode. I think if she had survived into this challenge, she would have killed it. She was a swimmer.
Yeah.
She's good at puzzles. She just got screwed because of that one puzzle piece. And, but this was Tiffany completely destroyed that for them. They would at least would have had a fighting chance. So don't give her the inspirational cut. Give her the shit the bed cut, please. I mean, I don't know. Like, I was just annoyed by that. It was like, how dare you?
How dare you?
This was one of my favorite moments in Survivor history, and you're trying to make this out to be like this big moment, and she's just struggling and just really falling flat on her face and screwing over her team. And Skeets, I wish you were on that team to just say, get up, get going. What are you doing?
I would have immediately become the villain of this season for sure.
Are y'all going shimmy across, or at least trying to walk across?
I'm probably trying. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
One walk attempt, and then it depends on how I did on that one. If I do fall, whether I would try it again, and then third time, no matter what, I'm shimmying across.
Shimmy across, yeah.
But of course, as Tiffany said, the way that the beam scrapes on your legs, it's very tough. Don't underrate that.
No, you got to hold on. You
don't want an open wound for 25 days on Survivor.
No, that's true.
No, you don't. So the blue tribe, Luvu wins immunity. They get a lot of the fishing gear. Yua grabs second, the green tribe. They also get safety, of course, and they get a little bit of fishing gear too. And then we get a little twist here from Jeff. He says, okay, for placing first, Luvu, you got to send someone from the losing tribe, from Yase, and someone from either the other tribe or your own, if you want, to go on the journey. And actually, I don't know if I'm putting words in Jeff's mouth there. Does he say journey? Does he tell them where they're going? What specifically they're doing?
It's the same spiel as before. Okay. You're going on a boat ride, and you're gonna have to make a decision. He doesn't say what the decision is.
Yeah, he's leading them to know that it's the same thing as last time, basically. Right. So, Jason, I'm excited to hear your thoughts on this. They go with Evvie from the losing tribe in Yase, and then instead of, which maybe is a weird choice in and of itself, going with her, they go with Deshaun volunteers from his own tribe. He says, no, he literally is almost like, I'm a little bored. I've been here a couple days. I'll give it a go. I'm tired of just sitting around the fire all day, and I'm tired of going to the water well. It's getting pretty boring, and I'll go. Anyway, what are your thoughts, Jason? Get us started.
Well, my first thought is I did think that was a little weird that everybody was just fine with Deshaun volunteering to go. That said, my number one thought when watching that trek was, what are they carrying and why are they carrying so much stuff? Like, they have these big saddlebags with that looks like that it has luggage and I guess shoes, and it's like, put that down, carry your water, and then go. Why are you carrying everything that you have on the island?
That's a great point. You're coming back down the hill at some point. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. They have that stuff because I think you're forced in a way to bring it to the challenge, right? Because you don't know where you'll be going after the challenge. You might be going right to tribal council. You might be being who knows? So they have to bring that stuff. I get that, but a great point. You're going up that hill. You're coming down it. They're not bringing in a chopper to pick you up there. So just leave it down there. But yeah, what about the decision tray for who got picked here. Again, both them deciding quickly that Evvie was going to go. I thought like that didn't take all that long. They're like, yeah, her. And then not going with the Green Tribe and instead, of course, letting Deshaun do it. I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was a little unsure on this one. I don't understand why they picked Evvie. I guess you don't really have a reason very much at that point, except for maybe you're looking over there and you're like, 3 girls, 2 boys. Let's split it up so there's a little bit of drama there. Maybe that's what it was, but the Deshaun thing I thought was pretty strange, and also very strange that the Blue Tribe didn't care at all. That they were just like, yeah, okay. And I mean, maybe they're okay with it because he's putting a target on his back. No doubt about it. So I was kind of confused why he wanted to, but I don't know. Literally, maybe they're bored. They haven't lost the tribal yet, or they haven't lost a challenge yet, except for when they forgot to unclip. You know, it seems like they're going to be able to win every single thing here. And theoretically, Danny would have gotten back from his time at the summit and coming back. And I guess they haven't gone through a vote yet, so he wouldn't have even had the chance to get his extra vote, but he would have told him you have to risk it or you have to protect your vote. I ended up protecting mine, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. So maybe he's thinking Deshaun will do the same thing since they had a little bit of a bonding moment when they were doing the water challenge right at the beginning when they first got to the beach. But Deshaun, despite the fact that he does get an extra vote out of this and he does make a bond with Evvie, he puts himself a little bit in the you're playing too hard category compared to everybody else on the Luvu tribe. So I think maybe his other tribe mates are probably like, fine, if you want to be the one who's willing to do that, go for it. But I would have sent, maybe somebody from the Green Tribe or double up on the Yellow Tribe, though. Then you're kind of making a power couple, but that's fine. Make it tough for him.
Yeah. Anything to add, JD?
I mean, I think that if you're going to volunteer to go on something like this, the best time to do it is after you've won a challenge and you're on a roll of winning challenges. I mean, yes, it puts a target on his back, but not that night. I mean, you're safe. You know that you're safe that night, and they don't know where they're going. I mean, the assumption is that they're doing this a similar thing, but I was actually kind of surprised that it was exactly the same decision that they had to make in exactly the same way. I was like, okay,
well, it went from 3 people to 2 people too.
I suppose, exactly. So, and it ended up being awesome for him just because Evvie told him literally everything, and he got an extra vote out of it. So, and who knows when he's going to actually see that extra vote because they never go to tribal councils. So.
Oh, right. Yeah. It will only be there when he finally steps up to the podium there and picks up that cool bolt marker. You guys notice that? I like that marker. Maybe they put all their resources into a cool new marker instead of the idol this year. I like that little touch. The only thing I have to add from the challenge, I just had a couple other notes. We said Nasir with the amazing dive earlier, just Aussie like they're getting into the water. A lot of other people don't know how to dive all that well.
There were some divers out there.
Yeah, there were some rough belly flops or not jumping very far.
Beef Walton, I think, notable among those. But again, a land animal, like not used to spending a lot of time in the water, so it can be excused. Yeah.
Little water.
Tell me this. One of my all-time goals, if I ever get on Survivor, every single water challenge, I'm doing a cannonball. Every single time.
Oh, that's good.
God. Do you think would my tribe hate me if I'm like, because I mean, you're messing around. Like, you're joking around.
Yeah, but honestly, your cannonball, as long as you add some like distance to it, you're getting just as far as some of these people are getting. They are not.
You gotta yell cannonball every time.
This just in. Every time you'll be the this just in guy.
It's not. It's Drake did a cannonball.
It's not the length and the leap in the cannonball itself. It's the recovery. Like you're going to
you're going to go a little deeper.
A lot deeper, and you're just all sprawled out. But hey, man, I think it's good TV, so I definitely think you should do it. Not if Skeets is on your team because he'll be
going crazy. Your ass will be voted out so damn quick. Like, this guy's not teaching.
Did you see what he did at the challenge?
This guy's just a goofball. This guy's a real Greg.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
The other notes I had, they really do not want us to see any butt cheeks on Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly. They blur out. They were blurring out people in the water. And it was like, what? I'm not even sure we can see it all that well, guys. you can relax. I think again they've gone so far with like, hey, this is a kids show. We want your kids watching. Like, we can't see one ass cheek, Jeff, anymore. Like, come on, guys.
Can I get a 16th of a cheek at least, Jeff, before you gray it out and make it all look illicit? I don't need that.
No.
Sarah's right. No,
it was. I will say it has been more aggressive than recent seasons. It feels like a 10 years ago or earlier season of Survivor when they were very liberal with the graying out and the blurring. They really went for it this time.
It brings more attention to it is the weird part of it all. It's like, what's going on? Did that person just lose their bottoms while they jumped in there? Did they do a cannonball and they ripped off their body?
I actually thought that maybe that happened because, have you ever been swimming? You dive in and then your shorts go like part way down your butt. I thought that might have happened with a few people there initially.
Okay. If I'm ever on Survivor, my whole thing will be I will always make sure my shorts fall off when I jump in the water, and I have to go back to get them.
I mean, that's like, remember Brett the cop on Millennials versus Gen X when he had to go under that log, and then he was just like stuck there with his shorts halfway down his ass, like stuck under the log, just couldn't get out. I was like, oh my god, it's so bad for him.
The only other thing I have to add is I did think Yase was going to pull off the comeback. They had a neurosurgeon and a PhD student on that puzzle. And, you were just like, Tiff, if you could just get across this beam, you got a puzzle. You're always in it. Like, somebody's going to screw up on one of these other tribes. And ultimately, I mean, again, you never know with the editing. They're so good at making it seem like there's a possibility that it's close. And then, they flipped it on us and they weren't winning.
Are we sure Voce was a neurosurgeon? Like, are we sure about it? Like, did anybody like,
do we
man, I want that guy digging in my skull afterwards. I don't know.
That's true. We only got one shot of him in a hospital. It was him just walking down a hall. I could do that. I could put on some scrubs and do that. Suddenly Dr. Skeets over here. Great point. Okay, so let's get to the strategy talk. We are with the Yellow Tribe. We're with Yase. This is where, Tiffany is she's gone mental. She's gone loopy here. She doesn't know what's going on. She's first off back at camp, Jason, sort of apologizing. I thought it was a pretty lame apology, if we're being honest, for like blowing the whole thing. Yeah, it wasn't much. And then they're like, it's okay. We have the all-girl alliance. It's fine. We'll vote out Xander. We know he's got all this stuff. We know he can't even vote. We know he doesn't have the idol because we've read the damn note. We're good. He's awesome. He's very likable. He's very athletic. He could win a lot of immunity challenges probably. And then she's like, suddenly, I think, because of the lack of food, what just happened in the challenge, with knowing he has these quote unquote advantages, but not. And then maybe that she also has received a vote at the first one, that she's just flustered and is like, not him, because that could blow up on me because whatever he plays. So like she suddenly wants to do Dr. Voce. What do you think?
Yeah, it seemed as if she was talking herself out of the game at that point. Totally. I do agree with you. I think the exertion and the lack of food and the swallowing salt water, etc., like it probably is all contributing to her being a little loopy right now. But, it was just like when Evvie is trying to explain to her, no, I've read the note. Here's how the advantage works. He doesn't have an idol. I guess you could be like, well, maybe Evvie's lying to me.
Right.
But that's like, at that point, that's the choice you take. You have two people who are trying to save your ass, and keep you here. And you're like arguing with them about like who should vote out and who to split. And then finally, to be swung by that, I think that's on Evvie. Like, because no matter what, you got to keep it on Xander. He's the one with the advantages. This is the time to get him out when he's vulnerable. If he gets that thing activated, forget it. You're going to rue the day that you didn't get him out. And Dr. Voce, listen, has he shown you anything that makes you feel like this guy's a threat? Why waste the vote on him? Get the guy who you betrayed, who told you everything, who now will be on guard because you flipped on him. You got to get him out right now. And who knows if that comes back on them, but it feels like it might.
Yeah, it's possible. JD, did they ultimately come to the wrong decision here in your mind, or are they okay?
Oh, I 100% agree with Jason. I mean, this is Stan Van Gundy tells us to tell the story when the ball is in the air.
Right.
And Evvie, she took a shot from mid-court, just chucked it. First quarter, I don't know why she would, but first quarter just chucked it. And it's like the whole reasoning for spilling everything about Xander to Deshaun was we're getting rid of. I'm telling all these secrets for a guy that we're voting out. As the minute I get back, we're voting him out. So it's like Tiffany, just her own team player is blocking her chuck from midcourt, and she's allowing her to do it. Like
that's on her.
Inexplicable to me that she would be convinced. I mean, and Liana seemed to be absolutely livid at the idea of voting for Voce over Xander. She's like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I don't. So if you cannot convince your team member, listen, I love an all-girl alliance. I want to see a woman win this thing. Absolutely. But if one of your team players is unmanageable and so paranoid on day 4, you cannot play with that going through the entire game. Granted, it's a shorter game, but still, I mean, it is so hard to keep that in check. Wait till the merge. She's going to be unhinged.
Yeah.
So if the next thing, your next choice after Xander, if you can't convince your alliance member to vote the way you want, then you get rid of that alliance member and you just flip right back over to Xander, who could be the most powerful person in this game moving forward.
Yeah, it looked like in the edit tray that it was a small possibility that it was like, oh, maybe we should just get rid of her. She's a bit of a wild card here. And she is talking about purple butterflies, and she doesn't know what the hell I'm trying to explain to her. That's another positive, by the way, for the Beware advantage and like how crazy it is. It's like, it'd be one thing if it was just like an idol and it's got a simple rule to it. And it's like, even if she's flustered from the seawater and lack of food, it's like, okay, hold on, let me get that. Yeah, this or that. Okay. But it's so insane, like these
totally.
moving pieces to it that it either sounds fake or you're just like, what? Hold on. What do you mean he doesn't have a vote? And what do you mean he has an advantage, but it's not? And he, like, I think that added to her, like, you know, paranoia, I guess, Trey, that she's just like, I don't know. I don't think it should be him because I'm a little worried because I don't understand.
Well, in real life time, they've been out there for 4 days, and you're like, Xander has found 2 things already. Even if Evvie is telling you the complete truth, which was obvious to us, having seen everything, I don't think that Tiffany was there for the reading of the note.
No.
She probably never got a look at the note, so she could think that Evvie is trying to pull one over on her for sure, but that's one of the key things to Survivor, I think, is that when you hear your name being discussed, you can't get like personally offended to the point where you go off the deep end, because you will talk yourself out of the game, and I thought that's what was happening as well. But I also think Evvie made several mistakes. I think there's no reason she should have told Deshaun about Xander at all.
Mm-hmm.
She had Deshaun on her side already with saying, I'm protecting my vote tonight. You're getting a free extra vote here.
Yeah.
Just click it on risk it and you'll be good. To me, that seemed like enough to kind of solidify a cross-tribe alliance, which would have been a sweet move. But now Evvie has burned that bridge with Xander before the bridge even had a chance to be burned. But really what she's doing is counting her chickens before they even have chickens at this point. She thinks that Tiffany is going to be a GOAT in the final 3 with her. And that is why Evvie has chosen to kind of like let the squeaky wheel get the grease, because Evvie is thinking when it comes down to it, nobody's going to think that Tiffany can win this. Though I do think that if she gets in front of a jury, she's going to have a nice case to make. But there's no doubt in my mind, Evvie thinks Tiffany is a GOAT. But guess what? There are so many people left right now. There is too much time to be really thinking about who's going to be in your final 3. You need to worry about getting to the merge at this point, which I think Evvie is still in a pretty solid position, but just a little bit too fast for me.
Is there not a play to be had here, Jason? Let's talk this out. That Evvie knows Xander can't vote. Okay, that's gone. That means there are 4 total votes. Her and Liana, they're tight. They decide, hey, let's go Dr. Voce. Even if Tiffany is like, they go Xander because
Okay.
that's what the plan was. So let's get rid of this guy that has all these advantages and somehow he can't even play them. Like this is the perfect time. You can't even vote for crying out loud. So we vote for him and then we tell Tiffany, come on, All Girls Alliance, we're voting for Xander. We let her go off the deep end, talk herself in and out of it all day long. Who cares? Go to tribal council. Let's say in that hypothetical, Tiffany votes for Dr. Voce. Dr. Voce knows what's going on. Doesn't matter. Like where's
I think
he
it's
voting?
I think it's
Why did
I still think it's I get it. I just think it's too risky. What she's shown you already is that you can't depend on her in any kind of meaningful way, at least from what we've seen thus far. She's a very shaky alliance member and she can flip the script on you very quick and blow up any kind of plans you have. Does that give Dr. Voce an opening to
maybe
get a vote out of her, to make a promise somehow? Look at the power that we have over here. Once Xander gets his stuff, like you're in with us, we're going like, is there a pitch in there that can be made to her? Like we're physically stronger. We can pick up the slack when we're in the challenges. Whatever that pitch is, I think it would be a risk to go that route with Tiffany.
I get that. I mean, if they wanted to, though, I'm saying get rid of Xander last night. And I say they as in Evvie and Liana, they could have. It would have been done because they know he doesn't have a vote, and whether it doesn't matter. It really almost doesn't matter. Outside of suddenly Tiffany like going to Dr. Voce and saying, "Screw it, let's vote Evvie." Right. I mean, then we're a split vote, but I've seen it. That's so far fetched. You just don't see that happening. Yeah, it was crazy. I did like Evvie at one point when they're trying to decide which way to go. She's like, "Well, we haven't won in challenges, so what does it matter if we keep Xander around?" When like people are trying to make the case for him, Tiff is, but she can't keep anything straight. It was rough watching Tiffany try and like make sense of everything, JD. It really, I think that was almost more difficult than watching her on the balance beam. Because in that sense, I felt almost bad for her. She's like, she's flustered. She's clueless right now.
Oh, totally. But as you say, it sounds insane. It sounds like it sounds completely made up. All of this stuff. We've never seen anything like this on Survivor before. And she's just going, okay, but he can't vote. Evvie's like, he cannot vote. Why can't he vote again? Oh, because it doesn't get activated until all three people have their immunity idol. And then she's just like, okay, I don't believe you. I don't trust you enough to actually. Yeah. What if there's a chance? What if there's a chance that he pulls something out? She knows she's getting her name written down by at least one person. And if he's got an immunity idol, then she's gone. So it's just paranoia. It's hunger. It's fatigue, but mostly it's paranoia, I think. But yeah, you're right. Like I would be like that too. I think I just like you're insane. You're talking like a crazy person right now. So I'm just gonna continually hound you until you do what I want you to do.
Yeah. And they ultimately came around on that,
and it worked. I don't know.
Well, yeah, she got her way. That's the crazy part.
That's insane to me.
Tiff did. They got 3 votes, of course. Poor Dr. Voce, whether or not he's a doctor. I mean, he was shell shocked. He was like, oh my god.
He was dumbfounded by this. Did not see it coming.
How am I God here this early in the game? At Tribal Council, Trey, I want to get your thoughts on this. We know we heard from on episode 1 from JD and Jason, like this whole idea of Probst talking to us, breaking that fourth wall. He did it in episode 1 when he brought everybody into Tribal Council. He's like, here we go, first Tribal Council. He's like looking right at the camera, talking. And then he does it again here in episode 2. His voice still shy. Like, can anybody out there in TV land got a hot tea for me? But like, what do you think of this? Because I know JD wasn't loving it on the first one. I'm sure he's still hating it. But Trey, your take on this?
I liked the very opening scene when we're back from 16 months off. Jeff is saying hi, and he's hiding what turned out to be the beware advantage, I was fine with that. I was also fine when he's talking about check me out on Twitter, check out all these questions I've asked. To me, you have to do it more or don't do it at all, because the only, I feel like, fourth wall breaking in this past episode was, like you're saying, Skeets, was as they're walking into Tribal Council, Jeff is telling us that they're walking into Tribal Council.
I know.
Yeah, man, we're watching the show with you as it's happening. And to me, that felt weird that he was just narrating exactly what we knew it was happening, because we hadn't seen him breaking the fourth wall at all at that point. It's like, either do it a lot, make it a part of the show, have him out there setting up advantages, hiding things, and, just narrating what's going on in the season. Have him be at Shipwheel Mountain explaining to us what they're going to be doing as they do it. Don't just throw me like 10 seconds of a gravelly voiced Jeff Probst telling me they're walking in as I see him walking in. That just that to me felt a little bit vanity project for Jeff Probst, if I'm being quite honest. But I don't know. I don't mind it when he addresses the camera if he's going to continue to do it. This to me felt like they were phasing it out in episode 2 already.
Oh my God, 100% agree. This whole it's Survivor 41, drop the 4, it's really a 1, it's just a start over. He's taking it too literal. It's like, we've watched 40 fucking seasons of this. We know they're coming into Tribal Council. You don't need to tell us. We just saw it last episode twice. We know what's going on. Yeah, but Jason, you were defending it a little bit. I remember I listened back to the podcast, but have you changed your thoughts on it a little bit if they're going to continue this?
I mean, much like Trey, I thought episode 1, it's fine. That's great. But specifically the Tribal Council one this time was like, wait, why are you explaining what tribal is and like what the stakes are? Like, nobody needs that. Now, I briefly thought, oh, is he covering for his blown out voice? Because it felt like his voice was a little better in that one clip, but I don't understand the utility of it. I will say also for Jeff's voice, I thought he should have come back and dubbed that later on, months later. That should have been all VO. He should have come in and just redubbed his voice. Yeah. So because I need Jeff to stay like ageless and strong always. Yeah. I don't ever want to know about that he is human and that he is made of flesh and blood like the rest of us. I need him to just be like a rock out there, like never changing.
Totally. I was like 16 months off. Jeff's not in game shape yet. The vocal cord's still a little rusty.
I love the thought here in episode 2. Jeff's like, all right, let's set up the shot, get the camera. Where am I talking to? I'll welcome everybody back to Tribal Council with his like raspy voice, like he smoked 10 packs of cigarettes. And like a producer's like, you know what? It's fine. We don't really need it. We did it for the first one. It was really cool, but I don't think we need to move. No, we're doing it. We're doing it. It's like the one time Jeff Probst actually can't talk, he's adding more to his plate just to like welcome us into Tribal Council. It's like why? JD, be honest with me. This episode, who were you thinking was going home? Was it back to Xander, sticking to Xander, if you want to call it that? Was it Dr. Voce who ultimately goes? Was it possibly like a late swerve, like some of the guys have said, like, Tiff might be talking herself out of this game? Mm-hmm. What did you think in the early stages there of Tribal Council? What was your gut saying?
Oh, I thought for sure it was going to be either Xander or Tiff. That's how it was set up. Traditionally, that's what they'll do on Survivor, give us 2 options, and that's exactly what they did. Voce, it just seemed to come out of the blue for me, but I don't know. But, and there was a lot of talk about how, he's asking Voce about his life story at Tribal Council. We don't see that.
As soon as Probst comes to you about your life story at Tribal Council, just say, you know what? I've had a boring life, Jeff. It's not that. It's not
smooth setup though by Jeff. Voce, how do you know about math? Basically what he asked him, he's like, last time at Tribal Council, you knew right away. 17%? No, 16.6666667.
Yeah, that was nice.
How did you learn about I believe they're called fractions? 1 divided by 6. This guy's a doctor.
Yeah,
that's what I knew. I thought it was going to be Tiffany heading into Tribal. I thought she was talking her way out of it. I thought it was going to be a classic. You freaked out. It wasn't going to be you, and you somehow made it you. But then once Jeff asked that question, hey, you ever heard of math? it was all downhill for Voce from there.
Yeah, he's like, uh-oh, this isn't good. I loved one question from this tribal council. I want to throw it at you, Jason. They got to this point of tribe strength for challenges or, loyalty strength for alliances. I think that's ultimately what it comes down to here. A lot of the times, especially in these sort of maybe smaller tribes. That's a tough one. I thought that was a cool little topic that was like brought up a couple times, I think, in this.
Yeah, I think that it's, we talked about it last episode where with this, with the shortened schedule and with the lack of resources, keeping the tribe strong, so to speak, is a much stronger argument than it has been in the past. It's not really, for the past several seasons, keep the tribe strong, keep the tribe. It hasn't really held a lot of weight. It feels like it holds more now. You saw the acknowledgement of Nasir's ability to start the fire, etc. Although with last night, specifically with Yase, I think we've gotten to a point. There's the weird perverse incentive, right? That I think we saw with Yase, where it's like, we're losing already. Like there is no circumstance, like we're getting blown out.
Yeah.
Even like there is no circumstance in which we are going to be able to complete physically with Lufu ever. It's not happening. So just do what we need to do. And I think that's how the decision-making primarily has shaken out for Yase.
JD, I know it obviously depends on who's on your tribe and if you're winning or losing, but what would you do early in a game, small tribe? Is it stick together, stay strong, or is it, you know what? I'm playing the long game, I guess, so to speak. It's not that important to have like 5 or 6 of us all that wore the same color. I mean, this isn't, 15 years ago. What's your gut say?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, Jason made a great point, but it's 5 people, right? So it's like, it will matter if there's 3 of them going into a merge. That's one thing. If it's a 6-person tribe going into a merge, we always see alliances, like tribal alliances. There's always whoever's on the bottom is going to break away and new alliances are formed. We're talking about 4 or 3 or even 2. I mean, you feel like you have to go alliance, but at the same time in this particular game, I mean, you gotta win. And Tiffany, as I said, lost that for them. And if you're at tribal council, there's a 1 in 4 chance that you're going to get voted out. I mean, I don't care who you are. I mean, so
what's the percentage on that?
And how would you calculate
1 out
that?
of 4?
How would you calculate what kind of method would you use to calculate that, JD?
Yeah, I guess to push back on that a little bit, JD, possibly. And I know Stephen Fishback with the Know-It-Alls has always talked about like there's some benefit in going to tribal council early in the game. Lose a couple people, lose some dead weight, form that bond, because that's really ultimately where trust happens at the voting booth. And you see where actually the lies were or not, or the truth was. And maybe it's like 3-2, like you said. They go into a merge or it's possibly just a swap, which could be coming. So that maybe blows up everything here. But you get these 2 giant armies then that are still fully formed in the green tribe and the blue tribe. And it's like, well, they're going to want more numbers to then, and you can attach yourself to them and then sort of slip into the cracks. I guess it's a possibility. Right. But I actually think a swap might be coming before even a merge. We're at 15 people already, so maybe it's another week and then we flip it up. Who knows? Maybe they keep small tribes. I don't know. But Trey, anything to add?
I don't think we're gonna get a swap. And
you don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I think it's gonna go to a merge, but that's just based on what the new immunity idol and just the fact that I think that Jeff likes these small tribes, because when you do have an extra vote, it just matters that much more. I mean, have we ever seen an extra vote really have any consequence in the game ever on Survivor? I mean, everybody's like, it's great to have it, but I've never actually seen it, flip a tribal council just off the top of my head. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Stream team can let me know. But
I think people are maybe pointing out Officer Sarah may have.
Yes,
people are saying, there you go, Sarah and Game Changers, good stuff.
Okay,
good stuff. But you're right. For the most part, they usually.
But then, and also you use the word dead weight, and Tiffany is dead weight. Like, you should be getting rid of her if you can't get. You have dead weight, and you have a fucking nuclear bomb, right? You got to get rid of one of them, and Evvie could have easily got rid of Tiffany, and then just continued her alliance with Voce and Xander, and she would have had a very strong alliance going into a potential merge or swap or whatever ends up happening. And then if at least with Xander, you have a much better chance of keeping that 4 together through challenges, because you may actually win or come in second, because you never know. The next challenge might be you only have to come in second, and they had a fighting chance if Tiffany wasn't doing the balance beam part, they would have had a fighting chance to at least come in second and not go to tribal at all.
Yeah, Trey, anything to add to this?
I think tribe strength is a weird thing, because I think the true strength in tribal challenges is being good at puzzles. Like, they should only keep the smartest people. That's the change for it.
I love it.
That being said, the blue tribe looks like they're all jacked and they're dominating every single challenge.
Yeah.
So maybe you're playing for second at that point, but to me, unless you have like an ex-NFL player, it doesn't matter. Keep whoever is the best at challenges, because it always comes down to the challenge. Like, Yase still had a chance, at least editing wise, in that challenge, even with Tiffany taking forever to get across the balance beam. If they would have had a super puzzle genius, a Laura Moret, who can bang it out in 20 seconds, that's the strongest person on your tribe right there. If you can send the same person to do a puzzle and you know they're going to finish first, that is the easiest way to win those challenges.
Absolutely. The puzzle has always been the great equalizer, but you can't do a puzzle if you don't get to the puzzle. You have to get to the puzzle to actually do the puzzle, which is not what happened this time.
Yeah. I think Evvie's decision, and Liana's, like, I don't want to like leave her out of this.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, she really was like, no, we should be taking out Xander. Like, like you said earlier, JD, like, she was like throwing a fit almost, like, this is stupid. I don't want to hear any more of this. But then you like got to sort of like obviously walk that back a bit. Can't be so stubborn that you won't work with your alliance. But Evvie specifically, it's like she was picking between, and you guys already said it, the GOAT, the long-term GOAT in Tiffany. Like, she can see it. She's like, I can see myself sitting there at the final tribal council with her, and I don't like her chances to beat me and maybe whoever else.
Right.
Or they aren't, like, from what we know, her and Xander are tight. He tells her everything.
Totally.
Yeah.
So he's the meat shield now.
Totally.
He's got all the weapons. He's super athletic. They're going to be usually firing at a guy like him once you hit the merge or whatever, than they are you. And it was like almost like she made the decision between the GOAT at the end or like a meat shield to get me to the end, or at least to help me. And I do think she made the wrong decision here. We're ultimately going to see Jason, but I think that's sort of, she just was thinking, I think she's just thinking too long-term. And you guys have said that already.
Yeah, I think so. I think I think that's the case, and obviously we'll see if that matters. Just to touch on the Steven Fischbach strategy of let's go to, it's actually good if you go to tribal early, and obviously that worked out great for him in terms of his long-term game in that season. I don't know, that it feels a little bit like how people like justify like autoerotic asphyxiation, like, oh, but it's so much, you come close, to death, and then everything is more intense. It's like, no, how about we just don't come close to death?
Sure.
Like, just don't go to tribal. What about that?
Well,
what if we do it that way?
You're right, but within the game of Survivor, his pushback would be, we just don't know where the lines are drawn. Everybody pretends to tell you where they're drawn, but we really don't know until we get our ass up there and lay down the vote.
And by the way, how tight are the bonds in Luvu right now? They're winning. They probably love each other. I mean, even the guy that they wanted to vote out day one, he's like, we love this guy. We don't want to get rid of him.
That's awesome. Have you seen this guy dive into the water? His shorts stayed on and everything. He's wicked.
I mean, and they've got like the easy first boot with Heather, who is sat for, I think, the last 2 challenges, definitely this last one.
Yeah.
So it feels like they're sitting pretty. They are low stress as can be.
Yeah. And I would add to all of this, too, the importance of winning these challenges to avoid tribal council. Add to that in this season, what about Flint?
Yeah.
And just like warmth and like losing these or losing all this stuff, which is going to have an effect on you as well. So yeah, maybe that's another, little check there for, hey, let's win a challenge. Let's keep the people that can help us win one of these things.
Xander had that ill-advised monologue ahead of the challenge where he's just like, we no fire, we're freezing, we are washed out, we're dead, we have eaten nothing, we've drank water, that's it. I've been like eating grass and leaves, we're gonna fall down. It's like, Xander, why are you saying this right now?
This guy loves talking.
Okay,
I'll tell you anything.
I have one more question, and then we're going to take our final break, and we'll answer some of the tree mail cues that people sent in, and maybe some here in the live stream. But can someone clarify this die to me? This dice, die, I should say. They only get one or whatever it is. They couldn't use this last night, right? I'm unclear
Why not?
about.
Yeah, they could have.
How did that? It didn't come up once.
It didn't come up. I think because it was such a blindside. Like Voce did not even have an inkling. His spider sense was completely inert. Did not have any kind of idea that was going to happen. It would obviously going to be predicated on, do you have a sense that this could happen to you?
Right.
Tonight? Okay.
And so they could have used it. He could have used it. He could have plopped it in there. It's still a 1 in 6 chance, actually, because the die itself is not.
He could tell us what the exact numbers are.
That's right. He could give us the specific. Okay. I was just no, you're right. He just didn't see it coming. So why would he? And I'm trying to think of why would anybody else. I was amazed it just didn't come up at all. Like, not
and remind me, is it you can't vote, right? If you roll the die, you cannot vote.
You can win safety for that night, but your vote is not cast. Yeah, you don't get to write it, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. It was a little fascinating. Okay, I hope we at some point see somebody do this, and I'm sure we will. All right, let's take our final break, and then we'll get to tree mail, and then we'll look ahead to next week's episode.
Fight camp. Yeah, this one intrigues me because whenever I'm working out with the video in my garage, I always love it when they incorporate punching and kicking into the workout. It's a brief reprieve from the rest of the class where I'm trying to keep up with whatever movement the instructor is guiding me through. Punching, kicking, and the running man, those I'm good at. Everything else is a massive struggle. And yeah, in case you're wondering, my workout video is an old jazzercise VHS I found, but that's not the point. The point is, when I'm working out at home, I want to crank the Bill Conti and I want to hit stuff. Fight Camp is made for total beginners or Clubber Lang himself. That's right, the Rocky references keep on coming. It comes with all the gear you need to box at home, including a freestanding punching bag, boxing gloves, quick hand wraps, and their unique punch tracking sensors. We're talking Ivan Drago technology over here. Hey, remember that training montage from Rocky IV? Drago was utilizing all the technology 1985 had to offer, while Rocky is literally running in the snow and chopping wood. Please! As if Rocky had a chance. Give me a break. Where was I? Oh yeah, the sensors. They measure speed, volume, and output so you can follow your progress. You can push yourself to compete on the community leaderboard, challenge others, or do you versus you in the new versus mode. You can pay for your fight camp over 24 months for less than the cost of a boxing gym and get it right away. Plus, Fight Camp offers free shipping with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Just go to joinfightcamp.com/dunks. What? Dunks? I guess they didn't get the memo that we're no dunks, but the code is actually dunks. To get free shipping on Fight Camp, go to joinfightcamp.com/dunks. That's joinfightcamp.com/dunks.
Oh, from cats to cereal. One thing to know about breakfast cereal is that it is very good at all times of the day. Another thing to know is that your typical breakfast cereal is a straight up sugar bomb. But the last thing to know is that Magic Spoon is built different. Literally. Unlike those other cereals, Magic Spoon is a walking bucket of good stuff. 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs and 140 calories in every serving. It's keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. Flex emoji, snort emoji. Magic Spoon has flavors for days. Cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, blueberry, cinnamon, My mind is still reeling from JD mentioning that maple waffle has become a Magic Spoon staple. The game has changed. But one thing that hasn't changed is the great deal Magic Spoon is offering No Dunks listeners. Head to magicspoon.com/nodunks and use code NODUNKS to get $5 off your first order. That's magicspoon.com/nodunks. Use code NODUNKS to get $5 off your first bowl. Big ups to Magic Spoon for the Magic sponsorship.
Back with No Buffs here. We'll end this podcast. A little tree mail. Always asking you to tweet in your questions and your comments, screen grabs if you got them, to @NoDunksInc on Twitter, which is where a lot of these came from. You can email them in, nodunks@theathletic.com. You can leave them in the live stream or below the YouTube video as well. All right, first one's from Doug, @DougGulassi. He asks, which players from the remaining tribes would you most want to see get the Beware advantage? Just so they have to do the weird phrase. It has to be Brad from Yua, right? Jason, you go first. Who do you hope gets this thing, just to see how they would work it into that little
I gotta say, Beef Walton is a great choice for that. Just imagining him saying, you know, I just realized that broccoli is actually just tiny trees is so funny to me. Yeah. But I also think Tiff is an out of the box one, because people would just be like, what? Like, what are you saying? Like, those are my two picks. Beef is definitely number one pick.
Okay, fair enough. Tiff's going to be difficult being on the. It could be a swap or something. She could end up on another tribe. But I do like her trying to say it, and then people are like, give her some water. She's not going to make it through this challenge here. Like, let her sit out or something. Trey, anyone else? Beef Walton, we all agree would be hilarious. But is there anyone else we're forgetting that you'd like to see have a go at it?
I would like to see Sydney have a chance. Jason, you mentioned it on the first recap podcast. She's got a little bit of Courtney's sass to her, but I think she's on the Blue Tribe, and she hasn't had much to do so far because we haven't seen a whole bunch of the Blue Tribe. She's made me laugh a couple of times, despite only getting a few lines in. There was a great shot of her when Luvu won the immunity challenge this time around. Didn't have anybody to celebrate with. She's just looking around like, seriously, somebody give me a hug. So I think she's kind of funny. So I would love to hear her deliver one of these wacky lines. But obviously, Beef Walton is the choice. I just hope he does not find the one about ghosts on AstroTurf too close to like his real life. To be weird. They'll be like, oh, that's just a folksy rancher saying. Yeah, that's just a classic thing that he's saying. So as long as they give him the broccoli one, it'll be good.
JD, you got anybody for Doug here that you'd like to see try and slip this in?
I mean, you guys nailed it. I kind of think that Nasir, I would almost like to see that. I think that because there's a little bit of a language barrier there, he may actually get away with it a little easier, you know? And also I'm rooting for him. So I just want to see him get immunity. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see how this plays out. I hope that it pays off. I really, really do, because I think it's going to be hilarious.
We can almost guarantee that Deshaun is going to find the one on the Luvu tribe. He knows about it. You would hope he's out there seeking it. And then at the very least, he's going to be saying one of his lines, I guess, at the next challenge. And then does Xander have a decision then? If Deshaun says his thing first, because I'm with you guys. I don't think you got to say these in order. It doesn't make any sense that you would. If Deshaun says his broccoli thing, does Xander then just wait to see if somebody says the goat thing and just like, don't say butterfly again, right? I think that's 100,000%. Like, oh, interesting. Interesting about broccoli. Does anybody have anything about goats they'd like to share? No? Okay, then I'll keep my dead relatives line to myself. Okay. Yeah,
I think it's possible that Deshaun, if he finds it, doesn't doesn't do it.
No
I
way.
think-
He just volunteered to go on the journey. This guy's just like, some of these people, they just want to play.
No,
man.
but
They're just like, "Come on, let's play."
he's the only player other than Xander who knows what the actual risk is, and he knows that
true.
he would be
Yeah.
giving up his vote. And in fact, the power could lie in the fact that as soon as he sees somebody on his tribe say this goofy shit at the challenge, then he already knows that Xander has one, and he'll know who the next person is. He already knows the challenge, right? So him and Evvie, I guess, would know. So I don't know. I don't know if I know the risk. Like if I'm Xander, I'm absolutely opening that thing up. But knowing that you're gonna lose your vote until the merge, that's a big risk.
Yeah.
And I think it's possible.
They never
that he
vote
just-
though.
Yeah,
What's that?
true.
That's true. That's
They never
true.
vote.
Yeah.
I like this idea, but I would take it to the next level from Ian Stewart here in the stream team. Just give it to
Yeah.
your enemy and say, open it. Just take find that bolt marker and scratch out beware. And it just says advantage on. Here you go. Scratch out the
Nice.
rest of that stuff. Oh, here, you have it. I already got one. It's a good idea. Try and blow up somebody's game. I think he's going to find it, JD. My prediction is he's 100% going to open it. One more question about it, though. Let's say next week too, I don't know, JD finds it. All three have it. And they all say it, their lines at this challenge. Does that mean they all get an idol?
Yeah.
Or is it,
Yeah.
wow, so they each,
I believe that is the case.
so there's really
Yeah.
suddenly 3 idols in the game. That's incredible. That's incredible. I thought the shared part made it more like a classic Ty Scott Pollard, like it can
Gotta
only
play it together.
be formed
Yeah.
together. But then I'm like, that doesn't make a lot of sense because they're on different tribes. So yeah, you guys must be right. Wow. Very, very powerful, this thing. Okay, we'll see what happens. Couple more here and then we'll start wrapping up. From at Saucy Dossie 08. Do we already see a tribe merge being split into 2 coming up, with one tribe down to 4 members already, and the season having unexpected twists and turns? I feel like it could happen in the next episode or 2. Okay, so we sort of talked about this already a little bit. Jason, anything here to Saucy Dossie? Is it a possibility?
I still maintain it's a possibility, even though it would burn the advantages if they have not yet been found. That said, they must have some kind of backup plan for that, because there's no way to paper over a tribe going down to 2 or going down to 1, like that. At that point, something has to happen, whether it's a time limit on the thing, or you reveal where they are, or you do some other game that allows people to find it. Whatever you have to do that, I think you need to figure that out. And I'm sure the production has thought through those eventualities. So I'm going to say that there is still a chance that we would see that rather soon.
Trey, do you think it's more likely we just eventually go to the merge without ever swapping it up, either to another 3 tribes, different 3 tribes, or even 2, like Saucy said?
I think in 2 weeks from yesterday, we're getting 2 tribes of 7. So not next episode, but the episode after that, we'll swap it down to 2. And then I think that will not be considered the merge. So then you'll have those 3 beware advantage idols, which now maybe you have 2 on one side and maybe just 1 on the other.
Right.
Because that, a tribe of 7, you still have an easy majority. You just need 4 people to vote somebody out. And it really sets you up for somebody getting stuck in the middle of, we got a group of 3 over here.
Yeah.
We got a group of 3 over here. Ooh, the exciting swing vote is in play. So 2 weeks from now, I think we're swapping.
Jesus, JD, if we have 3 idols in this game and then all these extra votes to try and keep track of, it's gonna get confusing.
Don't
real
forget
quick
the
here.
dice.
Oh my God, you got the dice. Jeez, I can't wait. One more before we look ahead. It's from Tass Mellis, who I think we've suddenly turned into like a Survivor diehard. We'll have to have him back on. I know he was watching last night for sure. He wrote in, or tweeted in, I should say, at Tass Mellis. Do we ever get to hear what players are saying as they're voting? Remember, Tass is like sort of a noob when it comes to Survivor. He hasn't watched a lot of these episodes. I wanted to hear Liana's voice. In classic Tass style, I wanted to hear Liana's voce, pun intended, voice while she voted out the neurosurgeon. She was passionate. I wasn't the biggest Dr. Voce fan, but Liana's anger seemed on another level What do you think she said? So JD, why don't you start this off? Tess sort of has sort of two questions there. Do we ever hear their voice when they're voting, what the players are thinking or where they're going? And then this whole thing about Liana being angry with Dr. Boche.
Yeah, Tess, the body language doctor,
Yes.
breaking down the tape. I too went back after reading this question and looked at the tape. I didn't get the same impression. I think she was whisper projecting, you know. I didn't sense the same anger. She was passionate about whatever she was saying, but she was definitely leaning into the camera, enunciating. But in my mind, I heard her sort of stage whispering the way they do, you know, like, I like you, man, but you gotta go. I mean, I can see how you could see how like that, or assume that she's being angry, but I don't know that I don't think she was as angry as Tess thinks she was.
Well,
but
she could have been angry at the sense of like, I don't want you to go.
Oh, yes.
It's like,
this
shouldn't be you.
Yeah. This is stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Jason?
I agree with all that. I'll just say for Tess that it is, you do occasionally hear people when they're whispering and or saying stuff as they write, and that the best version of that has to be Dominic Abate screaming, Chris Noble, as he wrote Chris's name on the dropping it in the jar. One of the all-time best tribal moments. So funny.
Are they? I mean, he did that. You're right. It has happened. Are they? They're told not to do that, I assume, right?
I'm sure they are. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure they're told not to do it. But that was so funny.
And Trey, anything to add to Tassie's thoughts here? Maybe specifically the Liana part.
Yeah, I think JD nailed it. Maybe she was, perturbed that clearly she wanted to go for Xander. Like that was her. If Liana's making the call, it's Xander. That's the right move. But also, as Jeff said, loyalty versus tribe strength. She chose loyalty. So she didn't seem happy to be choosing loyalty. Maybe she knows we're making the wrong choice. This could come back to bite us. So yeah, I assume that's probably it. It's pretty strange that Tiffany seems like she's been on the bottom since the game started, but has kind of made the call on the first two votes. So maybe that's why Liana's upset. She's like, I seem to be in a good place here. I'm one of our best in challenges, but I'm getting no traction with regards to the leadership of the tribe.
That'll be a great twist to the ending of the season when Tiffany's sitting there as a goat. She goes, what do you mean? I was the one calling all the shots. Yeah. You thought I was a goat. I was always telling you where we're going. That'd be awesome. I'm cheering for her now. I said I love the bolt marker. I don't like the what do you call it?
The canister,
the canister,
whatever it is, the urn.
The urn, I guess, yeah. But it's more of a box. It's just a straight up box. And I don't know how they go about it. Maybe Jason. I know you know a little bit more of the ins and outs because you've heard some of the previous winners and Survivor contestants talk about it in detail. But and I listen to a lot of them too, but I've never heard them that looks like you could open that box and paper when you fold it, your vote, it sort of opens sometimes. It looks like you could see who somebody voted for. Now, I guess in theory, you've already made your vote because you probably can't open that. You can't get up there, open the box,
peek in,
go through them like a filing cabinet, and then. But I do think it's a little too easy to see the votes. I like usually the ones where you have to slip them in, I guess is what I'm getting at.
I think that I think that we're probably overrating how ninja slick you would actually have to be to catch a glimpse of a vote without the camera that is seemingly a foot away from your face.
True.
Catching you doing it. You would have to be pretty slick with it to get in there and be because your eye is looking that way, and it just feels like they catch you no matter what. It feels like they catch you.
Well, then Juliana says here in the stream team, they take votes out in between players. So
interesting.
Now that is interesting because I think they must put in blank, folded up pieces of paper because I'm almost positive last night when that box was opened by somebody that you could see paper in it, and that is why this brought me to this question.
Here is my question that I've always had.
Okay.
Do they mess with the order of votes when Jeff gets it back?
100%.
Because I feel like they must rig the cadence of it for maximum suspense,
Yes,
right? They
yes.
don't just go like 4 in a row and you're out. Like
Right. They decide how they want.
They're
the
planting
story
those
told.
votes.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
That
they
I've
have
heard
to.
before for sure is the way they go about it. But I didn't know this whole taking them out thing. That's a little interesting. We'll have to do some fact checking. But we believe you, Juliana. Okay,
This has nothing to do with this episode at all,
Sure.
but it is a production decision that I'm curious about, and it kind of bugged me. Why did they have sawdust in the first challenge? Like when they had to go underneath those things, they went through sawdust? That was so weird to me. It's usually like a whole bunch of
Yeah.
sand they have to dig
Yeah.
out. Is sand a lot more expensive and tougher to get in early in
From
the pandemic?
Fiji?
Like serious? Yeah, I know it does sound insane when I say it out loud. You would think sand would be quite plentiful, but I've never seen sawdust.
yeah,
That
feel
is a
like it's
great
maybe been
point.
used once or twice before. I will say, in sawdust defense, it does look cooler, sort of on people.
Yeah,
Like,
it sticks to you.
It was still
does.
on.
Sawdust.
It was still
Sawdust.
on JD's hair, like in his dreads
Mhm.
at tribal council. It wasn't fully all the way out. So I don't know. Maybe
Where's
that's
the mud? What happened to the mud?
the
We
mud?
used to
Yeah,
love
mud's
the
cool.
mud. They used to go into the mud, and there's the mud where you'd put it on your body and just
Oh,
squeeze
I like
it
that
off.
one.
There was the mud
Yeah.
football. There's the mud. Where is the mud?
I like
Yeah,
to see
where
everybody
is
sticking
mud?
up for their favorite obstacles here. In sawdust.
He's sawdust apologist. Damn right. Nothing wrong with sawdust, Trey. Nothing wrong with it at all. I think it makes for a great challenge obstacle. Okay, let's wrap this up. Oh, I can see why you guys went nearly 2 hours.
Yeah,
That
it
makes
makes
sense.
sense.
Exactly where we are. And
No,
that was
real
a
quick,
2 hour
I
episode.
I got another non sequitur just
Oh,
to
God.
throw in
Yeah,
here.
sure.
I this picture, this shot of Xander,
Yes.
he's just sparkling in the water. He's out there talking about him, and they just show him in the water. Whenever I see one person in the water like this, I assume aqua dump.
Yes,
Right? Am
yes.
I the
Oh,
only
yeah,
one?
for sure.
No, for sure.
They're shitting. They're shitting.
This guy is
Definitely.
taking his shit on national television
yeah,
while
yeah.
they're talking about him. But I just love that they put the star filter here, and it's sparkly. It looks beautiful. He looks awesome. But he's taking it
JD,
down.
I thought you were going to say that's the winner's shot right there.
Interesting.
I mean, he looks like a
Mm.
golden boy. He looks like the
I will
chosen
say-
one.
That is the kind of shot, and Xander is the kind of player that in the past Jeff has been like, and very popular with the teenage girls who are watching the show. We got Xander. Like I remember
You getting a lot of attention out there? when
you're
you're knocking
getting
down
a
the
lot of
streets?
attention now. Like it was, after Healers, Hustlers, I forget the tall, like really handsome, like young guy. But when they got them into the final episode in the CBS studios, fucking Jeff was just like looking studly out here. Holy cow!
Oh, yeah. Was it Joe? People are saying. in
I
the
think it was
stream?
Joe. Yeah, it was Joe.
Yeah.
Joe
Love
looking
Joe.
studly.
Joe Anglin. Yeah. Yeah. Look at Studley. Brad suddenly's like, what? We're talking studs? What we got? So that was brutal. Okay. Quick coming up next week on Survivor. I thought there was like nothing to this one. There's like
not much.
there's usually like a little bit more to like pretend to freak out about. I can't even tell you what the clip was, JD. I like blinked and I missed it.
Well, yeah, it was something weird with Brad, and just they were having a laugh. Then it went to previously on, but then Leanna was very upset. She was like, "I was right there. I wasn't
True.
paying attention." She was crying, and she's like, "Did I just make $1 million
Oh,
mistake?"
that's right. That's true. Okay. It's the
Mm.
question from Liana. Did I make $1 million mistake? Ooh, what is that about?
It's
Interesting.
about keeping Xander. That's
Oh.
what I think it's about.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Any wild predictions, Jason, as we head to episode 3? What are you feeling?
Just the thing that I've said before. I feel like Xander is going to figure out a way to signal to the other tribes that they need to look for
Okay.
their clues.
Okay. Trey, what about you? Any wild predictions?
I think Beef Walton's going to find the beware advantage in the next episode. I think that's what that scene was. He's like, what? These phrases aren't even weird. Just normal stuff to say. So I think that's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if both are found. And it looks like we're getting a new location because they show like,
Right.
you know, like they're rolling up in a canoe to some sort of structure at nighttime. You know, like it looks like a little hut or something with lights and something like that. They're all talking about it being dangerous. So
And
it must be something.
This is the monster. That's where the monster lives
Oh,
that Jeff keeps
finally.
talking about.
No,
in
that's
the,
right.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
Sydney did say that she was scared. She was legit scared. That's what she said. So
Okay.
knows? Who
I have
knows?
2 predictions based on a couple of tidbits. One, I watched like an extra, deleted scene on the Survivor website. JD, I don't know if you saw this. It was back at the Luvu tribe. It was about Heather telling Sydney. So Heather is the older woman, for those that don't remember. She hasn't been around a whole lot in these episodes. She's there. She sat out the challenges mostly, like Jason said. But she tells Sydney, hey, I had a dream that you stole my torch. You came to my house and stole my torch. And everybody's like, oh, that's weird. And then Sydney takes offense to the dream and is talking to the cameras. She's talking to other tribe members. No, she's saying that's a little diabolical. Like, I know it's a dream, but in a weird way, you're attaching the idea that I'm conniving or I'm evil or something like that. You're like, you're putting that on me, even though it's a dream. So she's trying to joke about it. She's a little upset about it in the confessional. Cut to Heather, another confessional telling us she made it up to do exactly that.
Whoa!
Next level.
That's pretty fucking smart.
That's like
if that is true.
Inception shit.
That is brilliant, actually. Yeah. And she says, this was my idea. I was going to she's like, I don't like Sydney. I don't trust her. Instead of just coming out saying that to people, I came up with this dream that she's conniving, or I don't trust her. That's good. That's good. Amazing.
I had a
That's
dream.
incredible.
I don't trust you.
Yeah. So I think my whole point is I hope there's some fallout with this. I think there could be some Heather Sydney fireworks, maybe in episode 3 or moving forward. And then the only other thing I'll say is, JD, did you do the Rebus? Did everybody do the Rebus?
I did do it. I didn't grab a screen grab of it. It was pretty easy this week.
It was so easy, JD. They zoomed by it. I was like, oh, worth playing for. I saw an or and it was like, oh, okay, now I know where we're going with this. You're right. You didn't even need to pause it. Did you go to the website though and plug in your thing? Okay.
Yeah.
I went through with it, got to the part where Jeff talks to the camera and he says, Trey, coming up here, and I think he's alluding to the next episode, I believe. He's like, we're getting a sneaking out of camp scenario.
Right.
So maybe that's what this whole little
could be
shelter thing is. He does the whole like, would you do it? Would you sneak out of camp? And he also said something like, would you tell somebody else in your alliance and have them sort of watch your back and come with you and cover for you? Like we've seen, I think, was that Tony and Sarah? Maybe?
I think it was Lucina.
Yeah. Or would you do it alone? So it's just you and it's just your power and you like all that. So I think we're getting that too. So maybe these game within a game, maybe there's something to them, Jason. Maybe we should all be playing these.
I guess we should. I'm back in. I'm back into the game within a game.
Yes, man. Yes.
I can't believe how many times I've had Jeff Probst just look at me straight in my face wearing a Japanese streetwear shirt. I'm like, relax, Jeff. Hype beast Jeff on here when you're going through the game within the game. But what can I say? I put my strategy hat on twice like a 13-year-old boy. If you're a 13-year-old, we want to hear from you. So I'm 100% in figuring out these rebuses. I'm sad to admit it did take me longer than you, Skeets.
Oh, I know the first one. Hey, look, I listened to the episode where you guys were like, or JD, I guess you were like, it took me a little bit to get that first one. That first one I was looking at for a while. I was like, I'm not seeing it. This one was, I think now you know where they're going.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a catchphrase. Oh, it's, stuff like that. Yeah, hilarious. Okay, so maybe that's
how
what
deep
happen.
can they go for though? If they're using
There's
worth
11.
playing for in the second episode, like are there that many catchphrases? I guess we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. There's 9 left, according to the website, at least. Okay, we'll call it there, guys. Oh my god, what a blast talking Survivor with you guys. Shout out to the stream team. the loyal Survivor, No Buffs diehards for joining us live here. We really appreciate y'all. If you're listening to this, make sure you subscribe to wherever you listen to the podcast, because we have our own separate feed for No Buffs. So on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to it, of course on YouTube as well. If you want to see our beautiful faces, you want to see Jason's incredible backdrop, taking me back to Turks and Caicos with that backdrop there. Yeah. I want to play spike ball on the beach again there with my buddies, that beautiful backdrop. So we'll call it there. Yes, keep showing it off. I like it. Email us, nodunks@theathletic.com. Tweet in your thoughts about Survivor to No Dunks Inc. You can leave them in the YouTube comments below. Thanks so much, guys. See you next week. We'll have the whole tribe back together again, unless one of us gets voted out. Until then, the tribe has spoken.